Subservience releases on September 13th, and thanks to Vertigo Releasing, I got an early screener to check this one out, and what I can say is Megan Fox probably gives one of the best performances I've actually ever seen from her. Hey everyone, what is going on? Welcome to the channel and thank you so much for taking your own time out to check out my review of Subservience. I really do appreciate it. And if you don't know anything about this movie, it releases on September 13th. It stars Megan Fox, Michele Morrone and Madeline Zimmer, and the plot basically tells the story of Nick and Maggie, who are parents to two young kids. And when Maggie takes ill and she's in hospital awaiting our procedure, Nick decides to take it upon himself to hire and buy this android AI robot who is played by Megan Fox and called Alice. And basically, as any other AI plot you've seen, everything starts out great and soon things are about to take a turn for the worse. And that is definitely the biggest detriment to Subservience. But before we go into that, let's dive into some positives. As I mentioned in my introduction, I think Megan Fox probably gives the best performance I've seen from her in some time. I also didn't mind her in a movie called Till Death, which, funny enough, is directed by S.K. Dale, who directs this picture. And I think they work well. I think looks like it's almost set like the same house. Like Till Death, I could be wrong, but it certainly seemed like the same house. But yeah, Megan Fox is definitely one of the better aspects here. I actually liked her performance. She was intriguing. And I also think she plays the part of this android AI like convincingly well. I was definitely sold on her performances. The accompanying performances, definitely Madeline Zimmer as Maggie does a good job. I wish we got more of her. And the cinematography is shot well. It's a company made movie. Some nice drone shots, some wider shots as well. Some really cool shots and visual practical effects and makeup work done on the android and Megan Fox as well that I thought particularly worked well. There is some violent moments here as well, which I really dug. And there's also some sexual moments as well. Just as a little guess, a bit of a heads up in case you are a little bit cautious of any of those subject matter. And the movie was only clocked in about an hour 45, but it definitely seemed a little bit less than that. And I enjoyed it. Like, I had a good enough time with this movie. I was entertained. I wasn't bored by any means. Yeah, maybe the runtime could be cut a little bit, but we'll get into that in a second. But for the most part, this was just a simple movie, simple to follow along with. And yeah, I didn't mind it overall. But if I'm going to go into the negatives, and this is where ultimately this let it down for me, is this is just like any other AI robot movie that you've ever seen before, right? It starts out well, it's not going to end up well, and it's basically the same here. Like, nothing really changes from that formula. So if you're used to that formula, this is just another one to add into that category, unfortunately. But I would say Michele Morrone's character of Nick, I wasn't a fan. I don't think the actor does a terrible job, but it's just nothing likable about him. You can't root for him at all, and I just didn't like this dad character at all. I felt more sympathy for the mom, who is Madeline Zimmer, who plays Maggie. As I mentioned before, I wanted to see more of her. She was more of the appealing actress, and she was a great actress as well for what she was given. And I feel as if this movie, although I wasn't bored by it, could have been trimmed down like 10 minutes or so just to help with that pacing a little bit, get us there a little bit quicker of this plot that we've seen before. But I think ultimately Subservience is a one that's going to fall in the category of just being predictable and being, that was alright, but it's not going to be one that I'm going to rush back and rewatch time and time again or over and over again, which it's unfortunate because there's a lot here to like. There's a lot here that it does well, but it's just one of those where I've seen the movie and I've got no real desire to rewatch it. So I'm going to give this a score of a 2.5 out of 5 stars. Have you seen Subservience? Are you going to check it out? Let me know down below in the comment section so we can continue the discussion down there. If you haven't already, I do have a Patreon. It is only £2 per month. The link is down below in the description box. You get access to videos you'll not get here on YouTube and so many more perks. Big thanks to all these awesome legends who are part of Patreon. Now, in the meantime, if you haven't seen these videos of mine, well, hey, have a little bit of a deep dive a little bit further into the channel and see what they're all about. But until next time that I see you guys, I'll be seeing you later.